On DaRon podcast show. I am Roniel.
I am DaRon.
Man, this week has been really crazy as well. Any new movies that you've seen? Any new topics or anything that you want to discuss around? Because I mean, I have a lot to say, especially about those white hat hackers you hate so much. Uh,
I really do hate them.
how about those boring and horrible hacking movies? Are they considered in
Oh,
the white hat group?
those are disgusting.
Oh man, hackers.
Yeah,
Oh my god. I
yeah,
mean, I thought it was cool when it first came out, but then when I seen it, I was like, when you really look at it and things are, this does not look like hacking at all. And they still do it even in the James Bond movie.
yeah.
The guy is hacking. I'm like, it does not look like that. And I wish it could be that easy. It's actually more boring than actually even fun like that. It just looks, it's literally boring.
I always enjoy it when they pull up like Notepad or something like that, or they pull up some Python code and they're showing you a Python code, or they run dir. It's like
Yeah,
dir, you ran dir.
or Netstat going
Yes,
up
yes.
and down. Like, I mean,
Netstat
time, like,
tulip.
come on. Yeah, like and Nmap, like come on now,
Oh
like
yeah,
I mean, Nmap is so infamous that it's always shown on every hacker thing almost, like, and in some random code, like you say, like the
yeah,
White House movie, that was a really good movie, but the guy you see on, I'm like, dude, you have random code that does
yeah,
nothing, and if you really pause and stop, it does nothing,
yeah.
nothing, and I'm like, is anybody actually looking at this? Do they actually? They need to hire some real people. Maybe they need to hire Roniel and DaRon to actually help with some of these shows. We can give you some realistic stuff because the shit y'all putting on there is horrible.
It
I think
is.
I think even Mr. Robot came close, but it could be a little bit better.
Oh yeah. Well, and part of the problem then, as a result of the way the media portrays it, in my opinion, is they give people a false understanding as to how our field is and how a job like that would be, as well as capabilities. And so someone gets into it or tries to get into it, and there's that big shock when you are handicapped because rules of engagement, shocked because you're being told by management you can do this, you can do that, but you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. And you can't run engagements just willy-nilly where you're like, oh, I'm gonna pop a shell on this and then I'm gonna RF star, baby. I mean, you see this
You
stuff in
can't go
movies.
rogue. You
That's
can't
right.
go black hacking. Like you can't do that. And like, let me give you even
Maverick
another
cop.
thing. When you actually when you actually get into hacking, you like, what is this shit? Like, okay, I got this little tool here. I'm doing, especially if you're AppSec, you're it. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but most people spend a lot of their time in Burp Suite.
Yeah.
Not me, but actually, I really like. I hate. I'm really hating Burp Suite,
Mm-hmm.
but let's just say, for instance, it's not what you think. So you get in here and you're like, oh man, like I'm gonna do such and such like I see on the TV. It's not like that. It's literally not. I'm telling you, and it doesn't happen that quick. It's not magic, and that's why people think everything is so magical. I'm supposed to pop a shell and it'd be great, and that's it. Or I'm gonna, I'm gonna just delete everything. No, it's not. It doesn't happen that way. A lot of the times you can't go as that far, but that far in those engagements. But as well, um, it's not as quick as that. It can literally take a long time to get anything going. And if you're really good, you may be able to do it that quick. Like Mr. Gray Hat over there. You may be able to do it really quickly and show off and then, go to the next thing. But with application security, as we were talking about before, it is so broad and it's extremely hard to do that people screw it up because you're not just going to be using a Metasploit tool
You
to
can't.
pop a shell. You can't. And if you really want to be good and show your clients some value, especially trying to do that, you want to show them what an attacker would actually do. And that's what I try to show clients when I'm working with what an attacker is really going to do. They're not going to use, if they're really a black hat, they're not using Metasploit.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
a
come
script
on now.
kiddie.
We know, right? We know 100% of the time that antivirus is not going to stop. Nothing you have is really stop what I make. I
Right.
can write something right now that will bypass 100% of people's systems today, and you won't be able to stop it. And when they say, "Oh no, there's no way," we have this. Our gateway does this. We
Right.
can stop everything. Okay, yeah, let me show you. Boop. There you go. I'm already in your system. Thank you. Now, how did you do that? That was so magical. You are God.
You
Yeah, I'm
fools
just.
blacklist everything.
I am just not a white hat. That's all.
I didn't put the author as Haxor. Went right through the filter then.
Oh man. But it's just something to say. Just don't look at these movies and think that that is the way it's done, and don't, as we were saying before, don't like judge a book by its cover. What you see on the movies is not what hacking really looks like.
Yeah.
Even some of the people that are doing bad things, that's not what it looked like.
Yeah.
Your average friend next door, it could be your 14-year-old friend, or your hot, sexy MILF next door. You never think that she's actually hacking into your stuff, and she's just cool. She's really cool, chilling, drinking coffee, and go over there just hacking, taking a couple hours, few hours, hacking people's stuff, and you'll never notice it. They're not wearing hoodies. They're
Right.
not having hacker posters that said password jackasses. They're not doing none of that. They're just normal people like everybody else.
Yeah.
And that is the spiel.
That's exactly right. And how do I want to phrase this? So
Watch what you say.
I have to. So if you see a guy wandering around like me and he's got a device in his hand of any kind, that guy's hacking you.
Yeah. I had to, it was funny. I give you a funny story, then we have to get to the topic. But funny story, my cousin was one of the people that got me into computers in general, right? There's all these viruses and stuff. He's a really, really smart guy. So one day we sit in a coffee shop. I think I told you the story. We're in a coffee shop, or I'm not in a coffee shop. He's in a coffee shop. And he's like, so this guy sitting over his computer, and he's just looking all strange and weird. Calm dude, sitting over the computer. And I'm noticing that he's looking around at everybody. And it's like, I get a pop-up saying something, and it's like, I'll go over there to him, like, ask him what he's doing, and he walks away. And he's like, he was doing something, and I don't know how he did it. I say, oh, you mean that he was doing some art spoofing? Like, he just art spoofed everybody and start capturing everybody's traffic, a man in the middle. And that's common at the coffee shop. Sit there and man in the middle of everybody, and then, wow, you just start sending whatever you want, sending random ads, injecting things, and then start getting people's password, phishing people on there. Like, that's easy to do. And he didn't know that. And he was just like, how do you know that? I can't tell you. It's a secret. But
Kill you.
In general,
that's my line of business.
Yeah. But he was just so shocked that, you have these guys that are so fucking smart, but hacking to them is still magic.
That's white hats. Except they're not smart.
Oh man, are you talking about the one guy that moved over to that one company with the L?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
He really thought he was a genius.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
He didn't understand deserialization.
They confused him. And I sat there and I showed him the example. And he was so confused. And I'm like, okay, well, but this goes to what I kept telling him. You don't have the foundation necessary to understand this stuff. You have to have the foundation. And that, I think, is one of the biggest things fueling the massive shortage in our industry.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get good and be good in this industry, the first thing you need to do is get a foundation. And that foundation has to be in computer science. It cannot be in computer security. That will not help you. If you want to be a white hat, then go off. And I promise, if I ever meet you, I will mock you. Will mock and deride you.
By the way, what he means in computer security, it is really just a business security degree. That's really what it is. A business administration degree mixed with some security shit and maybe a little bit of programming sprinkled on there. It's not really an actual science degree or a computer foundation degree.
No, you're basically you're like a CIS major, computer information systems major, only worse. I didn't know that was possible, except for computer engineers.
He had the thing against computer engineers. That's a 3 thing. I got 3 things. Oh man, I'm on a roll right now. So yes, you definitely want to have a foundation. And if you don't have a foundation, I'll say that, like DaRon said before on the last episode, is curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Curiosity is going to be very important. Even if you get a foundation, literally have to have that curiosity and also creativity
Yes.
and passion.
Yes.
But if you don't have that, then you won't be efficient in this field.
That's exactly right.
Because you have to be curious, you have to be playful, you have to learn to play in order to advance. But just having a computer science degree, it's a good way to start. But having that curiosity to challenge things, it's what's going to make you better.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And that goes to like what we were talking about before. That's the big thing gray hats have, is that curiosity by the very nature of them. Whereas white hats, and I'm not joking, I've been in this industry for a very long time. White hats will scream at you for being curious, for playing with things, for trying things. Oh, that violates the terms of service. Well, you violate it all the time. Why is it you take issue with my violation of it just because I tinker with it? Because if you look at most software, terms and conditions or terms of service state you can't run tests against it. It's usually one of the big things they actually state right at the beginning. And so, you know, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I am going to do. I get a new toy, and that's everything. Everything I ever purchase is a new toy for me to play with, to see how it works, to see how I can break it and put it back together again. Mostly break it, but put it back together again. That is how you become successful.
If you've never done it, how can you ever say you did it?
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
That's my thing. Like, I'm saying that you have to have done it in order to understand it. And that's the problem with the new generation. They've never done it. Yeah. They get in here, they take a few courses, they learn Burp Suite, they learn some network pen testing tools, Nmap, all of those things, and now they're a hacker. And don't get me wrong, you may be able to get by a few of them doing some of this stuff and as you go, but at a certain point, you're going to get to a point where you're stumped.
Right.
You plateau. You can't go any further. So being able to tinker around and learn things and then learn the simple principles of security, golden. Like we were talking about, validation issues are like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
If you understand what the problem is, then you understand how to fix it.
Yeah.
All right. And our shortage is like we were talking about, which goes back to what I was talking about earlier. People are scared because they think hackers are criminals. They think being a hacker, you're going to be a criminal or you're going to be flamed on or people are going to look down on you. And don't get me wrong, some people in this industry are assholes, but don't worry about them.
There are actually quite a few.
Yeah, they're not some. I'm over. So there's a ton of assholes in security and we do not accept our own.
Right.
You know, we literally bash on, and I'm not talking about me or DaRon, but I'm just saying in general, the community does. But that's why a lot of people don't want to do it. They're scared of it. They don't know if they can even excel in it. A lot of people don't even know it even exists. That is a thing you can do. Like when I was younger, I didn't even know I could do this and get paid for it. I was like, shit, I can do this and get paid and don't have to worry about going to jail. Yeah. So, you know, what? Wait, hold on. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. No script kiddies over here. Okay. No script kiddies over here. I don't know what you're talking about. So don't
not on this half the screen anyway.
Yeah. See this face? See this face? This is coming from a mutt. The mutt is talking. The mutt who calls me a noob is
down
talking. Oh my God. Anyways, what I was saying, and to go back to what I was saying, is that basically that is one of the reasons why people are scared to actually get into it. What they see in the movies and the things they hear on TV shows and news, like they're not true.
Yeah,
hacking is not what it seems, and we're pushing the limit. If you really want to be honest, like if we go back to like some of the things that computer engineering and people are inventing, think about all the things that are being pushed because of hackers.
Yeah,
you know, all the things that are being created because of hackers. You know, like we're pushing the limit and you could be the next one to do that. So don't lose out on something special because you think that you can't do it or you can't make it or because you feel like somebody's going to talk bad about you or negative. It's actually could be a very rewarding career.
But what do you know? You're a porn star.
Hey, yeah. Hey, every time I tell people I'm a pen tester, I'm a porn star. Or wait a minute, penetration tester is a porn star. If I tell them I'm a pen tester, I test pins. I was like, do you know anybody to test pins? How many people to get paid what we get paid to test pins?
It's a lot of money.
I would love to do that. Yeah, that's a lot of good money just to sit here and test a pin. Oh man, I'm a really good pen tester. And then tell people you're a consultant. hey, I'm a consultant. So you'd basically talk to people all day. Can you talk to me? Can I sign up? Like, I'm a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't want to hear your problems. I don't do that for a living. I tell people the problem and then tell them how to fix it. I don't listen to the problems.
Yeah.
Or maybe we kind of do both, but I'm not a psychiatrist, put it that way. And if you're a contractor, you can't keep a job like somebody over there.
I have too many jobs.
Yeah, you can also give them over here. I mean, wouldn't you be considered a prostitute?
Yes. I openly state that. Actually, you laugh, but I say that all the time.
Oh my God, that is against the law. DaRon, did you know that was against the law?
I go to the highest bidder.
You cannot sell your services to other people. How do I say this? A very interesting convo about penetration testing. Who thought of penetration testing? Can somebody tell me that? If you know, please put that down in the comment section. Who thought penetration testing was a good name? We're not going to call ourselves hackers anymore. We're going to call ourselves penetration testers, and then everybody thinks we're porn stars. What was the latest porn movie you was on? And was it on Pornhub? Were you the latest pen tester on Pornhub? Oh, I was definitely penetrating this computer.
The biggest steel rod.
Sorry. Oh man, it is just funny. Yes, it's interesting. So just know that you guys, that you're not only going to get a rewarding career, but you're going to get some funny jokes that come out of that when you tell your family at the dinner table what you do.
You'll be told you can't tell your family at the dinner table what you do.
Right. I definitely could not tell my family. They look at me like I'm crazy. Like I said, I always didn't. My grandma, rest her soul, when she was alive, she was just, when I told her what I did, she was like, excuse me? She's like, I didn't raise you to be. No, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Stop. I don't do that. I'm an engineer. How about that? And it changed the whole subject. Oh, okay, I get it. I did not do such and such. Okay. Just be warned. We have warned you.
Yes.
Roniel has warned you, and DaRon has warned you. DaRon been through it. I mean, like I said, he's worse than me. Like I'm just a porn star. He's a prostitute. I mean, come on. So we have warned you.
I whore myself out to the highest bidder.
Too many, but all in all,
I have a lot of clients.
All in all, you don't want to be DaRon when you grow up.
That's right.
You don't want to be him. But all in all, there's a really big shortage in this field, and it's going to be a shortage for a while. I don't think we're going to get. It's going to get better. And even if we start bringing more people over, and they do convert over to being in this field, I still think a lot of people don't have that knowledge or passion as well.
Yeah.
They don't like. I'm familiar. Like I like the old school mentality of hacking. The new school mentality is just everybody. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't use tools then, but back then you didn't really have that. You had to figure it out. Now
when
you kind of like.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not that old, but I was around with dial-up, and when I used to have a typewriter and all of that shit. Oh my God. My grandmother thought that when you send an email that you were like using up ink, which I'm like, there's not a typewriter anymore. There's no typewriters. We're not using up ink. So yes, that tells you how old I am. I'm not as old as some of those guys that still use floppy disks. Well, I did have floppy disk things, a ton of them, but I'm not that old.
Your disk is floppy? Damn.
Yeah, I got a sloppy floppy disk. It's very floppy. And it likes to flop around a lot.
Huh.
Like the floppy, like the flat. What is that bird that that one? I used to get really mad at that game, Angry Birds.
Oh yeah.
That's what the floppy birds.
Yeah,
it just flops around.
It does.
I hated that game. I could never get past that game. I always got killed, so I stopped playing it. Anyway, back on topic, guys. Again, there's going to be a shortage for a while, but again, as DaRon said, first thing you want to do is get a good foundation in computer science in order to be good at any of these things. It is very important. Not go for computer engineering.
Right. I would also recommend after that you get at least a couple years of experience in part of the IT industry, be it system administrator, database administrator, software developer, whatever it happens to be. But you have to have that degree first, and you have to really, like you said, have a passion. And this is going to be a multi-decade process in order to actually fulfill the job needs that our industry has.
What? You mean I can't be a hacker in a month?
No.
Are you serious? Remember that one person that told me I could be a hacker in a
He was so mad. He sat there, and I had this one guy who was so mad. I've been writing code for 5 years, which was untrue. He had not been writing code for even a year. No, I should be able to understand this. I'm like, no, you can't understand this. It's not my fault you aren't ready. You don't have the base knowledge. I don't know if he had a computer science degree or not, because I didn't really care. I didn't think so. It didn't seem like it. I've seen his code, so if he had a degree, wherever he got it from, they need to revoke it immediately. Couldn't even write SQL. He couldn't write basic SQL queries.
Hey man, that is sad. No, you cannot be a hacker in a month. That is disrespectful to all the people that spent years and years. And trust me, I spent years and years, and I still feel like I don't know shit.
Because you don't.
And yeah, I don't know a goddamn thing. Anybody tell you they know shit, they don't know it. That is a red flag.
They're liars.
Any security person that tells you that they know everything or they know it, that's a red flag. Do not do it. They'll be put in that percentile of the 99% of the white hat hackers.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
DaRon said. So, so definitely, that is very important what we said. And until the next time, we'll talk about in part 2 about more things that you can do to get better and get into this field and feel comfortable in the field and to become maybe an elite. Maybe an Uber, maybe a god like DaRon. I mean, there's not many gods out here. Like, I'm pushing towards trying to get my god rights, but I'm still in a demigod. Maybe even not even that. If you hear, DaRon. Here we go. We're still noob talking from a mutt. I didn't know mutts can talk. They do so much of this. He's doing so much of this, but less of this. Anyway, this concludes our segment. I am Roniel.
I am DaRon.
And if you haven't already, please comment and subscribe to our channel and let us know if you have any topics you want us to talk about. And if you like some of these topics, definitely comment on there. Let us know what you think about some of the things we said. Other than that, see you to the next time.
Have fun.
Peace out.